In this video, we're going to talk about what to do when you don't know your purpose in life. You may be wondering right now, you see all the other people in your work, your friends, your social circle, or people on the internet. It seems like everyone has their life figured out, right? They're going out and driving the Lamborghini. They're going out in Bali. They're going out and pursuing the purpose in their career. And it seems like there's you in the corner not knowing what the next step is for your life. So as someone who's personally gone through multiple iterations of that and was able to get out of that each time and time again, I'm going to share my own 3-step process on how to go about this process, on how to get out of what you think is your rut right now to ultimately now, you may be feeling a little down right now to feeling good, but ultimately at the same time, not just feeling good, but know the practical step-by-step on how to get out of that, okay? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Choi, and I'm actually, I take care of the lead generation and sales side of things at a 7-figure coaching company called Influence and Impact Coaching Group. And I coach my own private students as well, where I help entrepreneurs such as agency owners and coaches use their brain to their secret powers, their secret weapon, to, without learning more strategies and business tactics, they can get more revenue through their business. So that's what I do. On this channel, I just share, document my whole process, whatever on my mind. I just give it to you raw. So here it is. So, if you want to learn more, obviously subscribe to the channel and then smash that like button. Let's get right to the video, okay? So the reason why I wanted to tell you this video is because especially me being young, or whatever your age may be, is we go through different periods in our life where we feel like we just feel lost, right? That's why people call like the, it's funny, one of my homegirls, Erica, she calls it the quarter life crisis when she had her 25th birthday, when, it's like she's 25, she still doesn't know what she wants to do with her life back then, right? And me going through when I was 19, even you can look back at my old YouTube videos when I just feel lost. I remember being in my parents' house and I'm just like hanging my head and I'm just thinking like, dude, I'm just this 21-year-old kid. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. What am I doing with my life? Okay. And then I've been able to get out of that. And I remember being in a period where for 3 months I was on my bed, basically glued to my bed and not even leaving my house at least once during that 3-month period because I felt so lost. And so let me preface this by saying why you feel this way in the first place, okay? Because it's really to understand the awareness and the reason why before we get to the root cause of that. So, a lot of times people just like, oh, just feel, cheer up, like everything's gonna be all right. And that's all good and dandy, but that's really like a band-aid solution, right? So in order to get to the core problem, like a symptomatic level, maybe you're feeling burning out, you feel burnt out, you feel tired, you just have that lack of motivation. They're all just symptoms of not having a clear purpose, okay? And so the reason why this happens is because if you look at a pyramid, I think it's called a distill pyramid or something like that. Someone really broke it down. There are different levels of a driver of human behavior, okay? And there's like different levels to this, different levels to this game where there's like, I don't know, like belief system, there's self-identity, and those are very powerful. But on the top of the pyramid, the #1 driver of human behavior is purpose, okay? So if you look at people, like all the historical figures like Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, or Mother Teresa, Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, all these people who basically accomplished superhuman levels of accomplishments, right? Moving the human race forward, these people had a very strong purpose. Look at Nelson Mandela. How many years in prison did he spend in his life? Okay? Most human beings cannot do that. Mother Teresa, okay? Gandhi. These people, they had such a strong purpose that all the belief systems, all the self-identity, all the actions, they came as a byproduct. The motivation came as a byproduct, right? The happiness, fulfillment, whatever it may be. So that's the reason why, if you've been feeling burning out, maybe you're you're not really fulfilled in what you do. Maybe you're 9 to 5. Maybe the type of work you're doing right now isn't really satisfying you. Or maybe just the point in your life, maybe the results you're getting, right? Or if you feel unhappy, unfulfilled, it's because of the purpose. Now, I also want to make sure, because in entrepreneurship or the general self-help industry, they make it sound like your why, right? If you read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek, I read that book in the Korean version when I was in the military. Incredible book, powerful book, but also I think people misinterpret that in such a wrong way, where people think like, oh, having your why is like, oh, you gotta serve other people. Having your why is, you know, reforming the education system. It is saving all the starving kids in Africa. It is changing a million people's lives. You know, your why doesn't have to be as grandiose as that. I know it sounds very contradictory, very counterintuitive of what the mainstream narrative is saying in the self-help industry or the entrepreneurship space, right? And here's the thing. What I come to realize was because I was trying to brainwash myself to think, okay, like, what is my why, right? And then I thought it was, you know, I want to help a million people basically overcome social anxiety and all that. Turns out it wasn't that. Or maybe it was. Maybe I'll come back to that. I don't know, right? And then I thought maybe, okay, my mission in life, my purpose is to reform the Korean education system, right? Because in Korea, I mean, we recently had our college entrance exam here. Kids commit suicide every single year because they don't get the score they want on a fucking college entrance exam. They think their life is over because just like the education system and the society is so messed up, the perspectives. And yes, that is something I want to do long term. But I said that's something later down the line I want to do. I'm 24 years old right now. Maybe I want to do that in my late 20s, 30s, 40s, or maybe 50s or 60s. But that's a more longer term thing. So in the meantime, like, what's going to drive me, right? Because if you don't have something that drives you, your quote unquote, your why, your purpose, then, I mean, it's only a matter of time until you burn out or until you give up. Okay? And it's just, you're just not going to be efficient and effective. And so this is one thing I want to say is that first things first, your purpose, your why, doesn't have to be something that sounds good. It can be as simple as, okay, I just want to enjoy my life. I just want to make money. I just want to have more time freedom. That way, I can go enjoy the time with my friends. I can go date other girls. I can just eat good food. I can bang hookers and sniff cocaine all day. And I know it sounds really messed up. Okay? I know it sounds really messed up, but it is true. Okay? Your why, your purpose does not have to be what everyone else is saying. In the book Reality Transurfing, Vadim Zeland talks about pendulums, which is basically like groupthink, social conditioning, his way of putting that in a woo-woo way. You know, just because other entrepreneurs are saying, I'm on a mission to help a million people leave their 9 to 5, your why doesn't have to be that. It can be as simple as, well, I just want to work 20 hours a week and make 10K, and I just want to enjoy a good life. I just want to kick it with my friends. I just want to have a good time with my family. Like, it can be as simple as that. Okay, it's as simple as that. So, you know, if you keep lying to yourself, whether you do consciously or unconsciously, that your mission is this grandiose thing, just because that sounds romantic, when deep down you have some selfish needs you want to take care of, it's only a matter of time until you burn out and be stuck on the burnout hamster wheel. Okay, how do I know? Because I've been through it way too many times. And I actually had this conversation with the CEO at the company I'm advising on right now. His name is Miles Stutz. He built this he built influence and impact coaching group to 7 figures in 2 years, right? And he was talking about how, you know, his peers who are at 7, 8 figures, they all have their vision and their mission very, very clear. And what Miles was talking about, Miles and I was sitting down the other day, and he was just talking about how, yeah, I thought it was to change or reform the education system, build schools in Kenya, help misfits find their place in their lives. But to be honest, and this is what he said, he's like, to be honest, that wasn't what got me out of bed. And what I found, what he said, was like, what he found drove him nuts, because turns out he didn't know his purpose. Right? And so it turns out that his purpose was exactly that, to find his purpose. So the reason why he was in business, the reason why Miles was kept doing his entrepreneurship, this thing, as his therapy, was to find his purpose. Right? And the reason why it's his therapy for him is because before he was club promoting and going out and, you know, living the rock star lifestyle on the outside, but on the inside, it was what he said was an emotional wreck, right? And so that was his purpose, to find his purpose. I know it sounds really meta. And so that's what I'm saying. Your purpose doesn't have to be this grandiose thing that sounds good. It can be whatever you want, like what you want, because what you want is different from what everyone else wants. Everyone has their unique thing, right? So that's the first thing. And so let's start off by saying, okay, then what do we do after here? Okay, we understand the purpose whole thing. We understand that, all that, and what do we do? So the first step is understanding, like we said, it is normal if you don't know your purpose right now, because the school system doesn't teach you that. Your parents don't teach you that. No one taught you that, ever. And if you're watching this right now, you're probably around my age, early 20s, mid 20s, even late 20s. And even if you're in your 30s, I still consider that young. And even if you're 40s, 50s, I mean, like, I've talked to people, you know, as I talk to dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs every single day operating in this company. You know, I've talked to this one person who's in their 50s and they still don't know their purpose. So, you know, it's kind of funny to think about. Just, you know, some people figure that out. That's fantastic, but some people don't. Okay? So understand, do not compare yourself to other people in this arena. Understand that it is normal if you don't know your purpose or your why yet. Okay? Start at what society thinks is the superficial level, and then you figure it out. Okay? So first, maybe figure out, okay, maybe I just want to make a lot of money, eat a lot of good food, you know, hook up with the hottest girls in the world, travel the world. That's fine. That drives you. You start with that. Okay? You start with that, and eventually, as you make movement towards your objective, the next steps show up. The things become more clear. As you go through the process of elimination, you experience different things in your life, different things in your business, and then now you're like, okay, I don't want that. Okay? I don't want burning out. I don't want working 60, 80 hours a week. I don't want that. I want more time freedom. Or maybe I do want to work on something meaningful and beautiful. I want that. And you figure it out. Everyone is different. Okay, everyone is different. So that's the first understanding as normal, and you embrace it. Instead of resisting it, every time you resist it, there's a corny saying in the self-help industry, whatever you resist and persist, most of the time it's true. In this case, it's true. Whenever you try to fight an emotion, it keeps persisting. Whenever you feel that triggerness in your gut stomach, whenever you feel an emotion, whenever you're going through a breakup, you try to resist that emotion, it only persists for a longer period of time. Okay? So first understand is normal, embrace it. Okay? And the second step is, on the woo-woo side, you need to surrender. Okay? And what do I mean by surrender? When I say surrender, I mean submit yourself to the process of finding out your purpose, and you want to make movement towards your goal. Because unless you surrender, meaning fighting is like, I don't know my purpose. Like, I remember in like the last few weeks, I was just like waking up every day. I'm just like, where's my purpose today? What is my purpose today? What's my why? And that was driving me nuts. And I remember my roommate, you know, he's just looking at me. I was like, dude, like, you right? You good, man? And that's when I realized it was driving me insane. And the more I did that, it's almost as if the purpose or the why, the clues, got further away from me, right? I don't know how else to describe it. So it's just like further away, they got away. And then once I start to just kind of embrace the fact and accept and kind of surrender myself to the process, nowadays, it feels like now things are slowly starting to fall into place. Like opportunities are kind of coming my way, right? And I have different opportunities that are coming my way for more income potential, for more opportunities for growth, more opportunities to find myself and go do things I enjoy outside of work, right? And so that's what I'm saying is, I don't know if you believe in universe, the law of attraction, whatever it may be. I don't really care. Just understand that these, you know, on the more technical side, right? How I view it is that now, because you have more mental bandwidth, your RAS, your reticular activation system, which is kind of like a missile targeting system in your brain that kind of zone in, is like a selective focus, right? And then your RAS kind of zooms in all the opportunities. Maybe they're there the whole time, right? Now they can focus on it because now they have less distractions because you're resisting less. So that's the second step, is surrendering and submitting yourself to the process. And on the third side, on the practical side, you can't just, you know, lay on your couch and meditate and become into flower and everything works out. Maybe I don't know if you have figured out a way to do that, hit me up on Facebook, and I'd love to find that out. But what I've found so far is that you got to surrender yourself to the process and understand that it is okay if you don't know your why or your purpose or what to do. However, you still need to make movement toward the objective. Let me explain why. So in the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson talks about a concept called the do something rule. Okay, what it basically is if you look at a math problem, right, it's like x plus 3 minus y equals z. If you're a smart kid, you might be able to go ahead, okay, and solve the math problem right then and there without even like touching and like whatever, right? It's just like, you just know. But a lot of times, what you need to do is you gotta scribble a bunch of stuff on the paper, right? Maybe there's like 5 options, A, B, C, D, E, and you gotta plug in the different numbers. A, oh, it's not it. B, oh, that's not it too. C, okay, that's it. Or maybe it's D, maybe C. Maybe it takes you multiple times, but you can't find out the answer if you don't know, if you don't just do something. Because through process of elimination, or because your neural pathways start firing in that way, right, where your brain kind of shifts and start arranging things to find the answers, it's hard to do that if you're just sitting there and like pondering, I wonder what the answer is. God, I don't know what the answer is. I wonder what the answer is. You know, it's kind of what a lot of people are doing. It's what I did, right? It's easy to fall into that trap. So just because you feel down, just because you feel kind of lost or confused, or maybe even frustrated, just sitting there doesn't solve the problem. What solved the problem is, okay, accept yourself, don't fight it, but also go out and experiment different things, right? Maybe you don't know what you're passionate about. Maybe you don't know what the next steps in the life are for you. And how you find that out is by experimenting. And I'm doing that right now with the company at right now, seven-figure coaching company I'm at right now. And I'm transitioning out of this company in December. It's December right now, late December. So I got, about 2 or 3 weeks, and after that I'm transitioning out. Still in good terms with the CEO, amazing guy, we're great friends. But after that, I'm moving on to my next steps in my life. And like I said, I have some opportunities there for me. But either or, like I said, like everything's gonna work out. It's having that faith, right? It's kind of hard, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an analytical, technical person, like I kind of am. Then it's hard to see, like, okay, but like, what's the A to Z? But I don't know the science behind it, but I'll tell you right now, you have faith, you have belief in the process, and things work out as you make movement towards the objective. So, trying different things, I went from just making random YouTube videos to affiliate marketing to social skills coaching, and sales and marketing, then mindset, all these kind of different things. And I'm moving on to my next stages, my chapters of my life. And I don't know what they're going to be, And even the places I'm living in right now, I'm living in the central part of Seoul, which is, it's a pretty affluent area. It's incredible. Before that, I was living in my parents' house, which is the outskirts of Seoul. I was in a pretty toxic environment, topic for another day. And then, after December, probably going to this one island, going to be living there. I don't know, who knows? After that, who knows? Then after that, I kind of want to move to Eastern Europe, maybe London. A lot of things in my mind. And through that, like, you understand, like, you gain clarity of what you want out of life and how you're going to get there, right? If you look at if you've seen the movie The Maze Runner, if you look at the movie, it's basically like these kids get trapped inside of this little area and then to go through this maze to kind of escape out of that, right? And they're kind of scared. It's like this gigantic maze. They're just little kids. They don't have guns or anything like that. And they keep hearing these weird noises inside the maze, and they don't know what's going to happen. They know they need to go through that maze, but they don't know what's going to happen, so they're scared. So they don't do anything. And eventually, these couple brave kids go in there and find out there's like a robot spider, and they come back and they understand that, okay, guys, we need to kill the robot spider and we're good. So they kill the robot spider and they're able to go through. So, but they haven't been able to do that had they not gone through the maze, So basically the same thing with you. To recap, first, understand that, okay, it is okay, embrace it. Second, surrender and have faith, okay? And then the last step is the do something rule, which is go out and experiment, which is it's a boring process. I know it's not sexy. It's like do exactly this, but for you it's different, Okay, for everyone it's different. For me, it's different. For my buddies, different. For my coaches, it's different. For our clients and my private coaching students, it's all different, right? So but follow this process. I'm telling you right now, it's a process I've been following it's what got in my 3-month rut when I was glued to my bed when I was around 21 years old, around 3 years ago, and when I was depressed. It's what got me out, right? I kept going to yogas and different meetups, language exchange, going out to nightclubs, doing a bunch of different things, just traveling by myself, all these things, and things became more clear, and I was able to start figuring my life out. That's what the same process I'm following now. So standard operating procedure, if you will. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, where I basically riff on the controversial topics about entrepreneurship, where most of these gurus on YouTube, they don't really tell you. And because fair enough, it's not sexy. It's the dark side of entrepreneurship, or the controversial side. But ultimately, it'll help you along as you go about building your business and really grow as a person. Okay, and subscribe to the channel right now. Hit that red button right there, and hit on the bell button. Select the notification to all. That way, whenever a new video comes out, you don't miss out. You get it right then and there. Okay. And also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below what your thoughts are on this, and I'd love to see you. Okay. So, Brian here. It's been good seeing you. I'll see you in the next one.